Hello everyone. So in our last two videos, we already have covered arithmetic operators, unary operators, assignment operators and this conditional operators. Alright. And also we have covered some prerequisite knowledge about the bitwise operators and logical operators, like how the binary system works for computers, how they represent our decimal numbers into the binary format. So if you haven't seen these things, like the prerequisite knowledge of logical operations and bit operations and binary number system, please go there and check that once so that you will be able to understand this video tutorial properly. Now moving ahead, in today's video I'll be sharing the practical knowledge on how the logical operators work in Java, how bitwise operators work in Java, and ternary operators and instance of operators also I will cover. Alright, so let's start with logical operators. So logical operators, we have to just put 2 times and ampersand, we can say. Okay, so 2 times and in between the two operands. Alright, so that is how it's going to work. So input true, we have made two variables. One is input true, that holds the value true, and then one more variable input false, which holds the value false. Okay, and they are of boolean type, that's why it is true and false. Okay, now if I would put input true and input true, that means AND operation for two input true. Okay, in the previous video I already have shown you that there are in the AND operation, if 1 and 1, then only it will return 1. That means if both values are true, then only it will return true, otherwise the AND operation will always be returning false. Okay, so this is also true and this is also true, then it will return true. Okay, here you can see it returns true. Then input true and input false. Okay, since one value is false, so it will become false. For AND, it is a rule that both the operands should be true, then only it will return true. Okay, if one of them is false, like here the second one is false, so it returns false. In the next one, input false and input true, so the first operand is false, that's why it becomes false. Third one, input false and input false. Okay, so it will stay false. Now I will try for OR operator. So in OR operator, both the operands should be false, then only it will return false, otherwise if any one of them is true, then it will become true. Okay, so input true or input true, so it becomes true. Input true or input false, it becomes true. Input false or input true, it becomes true. Input false or input false, it becomes false, right? Then the next we will try for NOT operator. NOT, I already mentioned in my previous video that NOT is nothing but a inverter operator. So if the value is true, it will become false. Okay, if the input false, then the output will become true. So it's basically inverting the actual value from true to false and false to true. Next we will cover the bitwise operators in Java. Again, for this also you need to know how binary system works, then only you will be able to understand it clearly here. So please check my previous video if you haven't seen that yet. Alright, so let me try like 3 and 5. Okay, again I'm trying 3 and 5, and there is a hidden rule here. Okay, whenever we are working in Java and if you want to do the bitwise operations, it will do at a minimum 32-bit level, which is for int. Okay, there I already have covered data types and their range in my first lesson. So if you haven't checked about the data types and their range, please check my first lesson. Okay, and there you will know that int is of 32 bits in Java, and even if you try with byte data type here, it will upgrade it to int in the backend. Okay, in the background it will not work with byte, it will change the byte into the int, and then only it will work with 32 bits in minimum. Okay, so basically it supports int and long but not byte and short. So if you are writing like 3 and 5, so they are int data type values. Okay, so 3 will become 32-bit representation of 3. Okay, here I have put only 8 bits, but it's not going to be actually 8 bits, it's going to be 32 bits, just for you to know. Similarly 5 will become a 32-bit decimal value of 5. Okay, and if you do the AND operation, now see again, 1 and 1 is 1, but 1 and 0, sorry, 1 and 0 will become 0. Okay, so in the second position, second last position here, 1 and 0, it becomes 0, but 1 and 1, it becomes 1. Okay, you see, and all others are 0, so they will remain 0, because 0 and 0 is always 0. Okay, after this, let's try the OR operation, how OR will work in Bitwise. So 3 or 5. Now 1 or 1, it will be 1. 0 or 1, it will be again 1. 1 or 0, it will be 1. But 0, any 0, okay, 0 or 0 will stay 0. So this is the result. Okay, here the result was this is known as 1. Okay, in decimal this is known as 1, and from binary to decimal, if you see 3 or 5, it returns this, and this is actually 7. So this is the binary representation of 7, so output is again 7. Next is I am putting not for 3. Okay, this is not operator, and this is 3. Okay, and this is the not operation of that. The not operation here is just inverting the bits. Okay, and this here, this is the signed bit, so it becomes -4. All right, this is the symbol for XOR operation. Okay, we already have covered this in our previous video, how XOR works for bits. Okay, so 3 XOR 5, it's going to return this value, and this is 6 in decimal format. Okay, this will be 6 in decimal format. For example, 1 XOR 1, what will it be? It will 0. Okay, 0 XOR 1, it will be 1. 1 XOR 0 and 0 XOR 0 further will always be 0. So, and this is the decimal representation of 6. Okay, let's start the shift operations here. So 3 double less than, if you put, so this is not less than actually. Okay, 2 times if you put angular bracket or less than, it becomes left shift operator. Okay, so 3 left shift operator 1, and what is this 1? This is means how many times you want to shift, how many positions you want to shift. Okay, so 3 left shift 1, it will return 6. Okay, and -3 and left shift 1, it will return -6. Okay, then 3 right shift 1, it returns 1. -3 right shift 1, it returns -2. And this is the unsigned right shift. Okay, if you put 3 times the right angular, then it will become unsigned right shift. Okay, so 3 unsigned right shift 1, then it will be 1. -3 unsigned right shift 1, it will become this big number. All right, so this is how the shift operators work. Then we have ternary operator. Now ternary operator, how it works? Basically in ternary operator we have 2 symbols, one is question mark and the other one is colon. All right, and on the left side of question mark we have condition statement. Okay, it can be any kind of condition we can put. All right, then if it is true, then whatever the statement is there between question mark and colon, that will be executed. This is known as if true statement. And if the condition was false, then the if false statement will be executed. Okay, for example, here I am putting system.out.print, then inside it I am putting one condition, 3 is less than 4. If it is true, okay, if 3 is really less than 4, it will print true. Okay, this system.out.print will print true. But if 3 is not less than 4, if it is false, then it will print false. Okay, and now it is true, 3 is definitely less than false, so it should return true. So let's see if it is printing true. Yeah, now again I am printing 3 greater than 4. If it is true or false, it's false, so it will print false. So now you know how conditional, or we can say ternary operator works here. Next is instance of operator. Okay, so I have put a brief definition of it. What does instance of operator do? It checks if a value is instance or object of a class. Okay, how it does? So on the left side, I have made a string in double quotes. So it will check if this particular value, okay, if this value is instance of, or we can say the object of string class. Is it the object of string class, or we can say the instance of string class? True or false? Yes, it is true. This is actually a string class object, so it returns true here. Okay. Now we have to cover one more thing, which is known as precedence and associativity of operators in Java. Okay, what does it mean? So precedence means priority. Okay, which operator will get more priority. Okay, so for example, parentheses and square brackets have more priority than postfix and prefix, increment or decrement operators. Okay, then that have, and this postfix have more priority than unary operators, which is pre-increment or pre-decrement. Okay, plus, minus, bitwise, not, and logical not. Okay, and this has more priority than multiplication, division, and modulus. Okay, and that has more priority than plus and minus, or we can say addition and subtraction. Okay, similarly you can see I'm displaying here all the priorities 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All these are the priorities of these but different operations we can perform in Java. Okay, but what is associativity? For example, in an expression there were multiple we can say like operators that were of same priority. For example, a, or we can say 5 divide by 3 star 2 is equals to, what should be the result? Okay, now here we can't see the priority, okay, based on the precedence, because all are this divide and multiply, they both are having same precedence, which is 4. Okay, in the case we check the associativity, and associativity here is checked left to right. Okay, so left to right. Now left to right, which one is more priority? Star is, I mean asterisk, or we can say multiply, is more prior than the division. Okay, so first multiplication will happen, that means 3 multiplied by 2, which is 6, and then 5 divided by 6 will happen. Okay, let me put it here 15 for now, or simply 12. Okay, for a better evaluation. So first 3 multiplied by 2 will happen, and then 12 divided by 3, 12 divided by whatever the result is from 3 to 6. 3 multiplied by 2, that is 6. So it will become 12 by 6, which will be 2. So 2 will be the result. Okay, so normally we will first check the precedence in the expression. If precedence is same for two operations, then we will check the associativity. For some it is right to left, and for some it is left to right. Okay, if it is left to right, then the leftmost is more prior than the right one. Okay, if it is right to left, then the right side one is more prior than the left side one in associativity. Okay, so that's how the precedence and associative works for Java for expression evaluation using operators. Okay, so that's all about today's video. In the next video we will cover the control statements. Alright, and in control statements there are two different things. One is the conditional statements, and the other one break continue statement, and the third one is loop statements. So the next topic, which is control statements, will be divided in two videos. The part 1 will cover conditional and break continue statement, and the part 2 will cover loop statements. Please like and subscribe my channel, and also share my video to the maximum people so more people can be helped. Thank you everyone. Have a good day.